What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Let's see if I can get Trading View up and running as you guys are piling into the room. Got the share good. Let me exit out of the intro video. BEA beautiful. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Alex, Jenny. We got Brian with us. We got Christopher. We got Dallas hanging out with us. Jenny is here. We got Greg. Good morning. Gerline. Good morning. Jason is in the house. Jason P. King is in the house. We got Jay. Good morning. Joe, Joel, Ken, Rich, Tanya's with us as well. We got local missions on YouTube land going, yo, what up? Richard, what up? Feel like Lil Wayne out here. Give some shout outs. Oh man. Everybody survived yesterday. How's everyone feeling after yesterday? This is more therapy for everybody more than anything. CPI for anybody that slept through yesterday. CPI, we were kind of waiting on that one for a while, and today's going to be another big day, right? So CPI came in light. I know a lot of people, at least from the feeling I got just from seeing some of the Slack messages come in, just seeing some people around the internet that like, yeah, it was good and it was a big trap and all that stuff. I don't know. Yesterday was good, but concerned about I agree with you, Tony. So yesterday, obviously, very, very big gap up. One of the let me ask you guys, throw out in the chat pane, whether it's in the internal or whether it's with YouTube. What's one big difference today or from the yesterday's CPI report than the last couple CPI reports? Just says when's FOMC, so that's going to be 2 p.m. today. 2 p.m. today. But keep in mind, they had after the CPI last time, they also had the Fed meeting, right? They still had the rates come out after the CPI, so that's not changing. But there's one thing that's fundamental, that's different today than any of the last couple CPIs. Yes. So there's the immediate sell-off. We didn't have that before. There's after the elections, but there's something that was most likely causing one would be a technical basis, but the other one will be fundamentally something that's happening today. Santa Claus is here. CPI came in light, normally comes in. Last time, that's a good point. Last time though, Tony, it did come in late. So the one thing that's different is you have the SEP report. That's a summary of economic projections coming out. So in addition to, or part of it kind of lumped in all of it, we're obviously going to have the Fed rate hike, right? So that's going to be probably looking at 0.5%. I think we still hang out in that range. I think that probably comes in normal. And if that comes in more normal, the market will like it, right? And then obviously within the report that comes out, it's going to be a good day for the algos because they're going to scan it quick. But it's going to be the SEP. The next one of those, which is giving us kind of the standard of, and dot plot would be the second one. Correct. The SEP is going to give us where, what's the plan for the Fed pretty much going forward from this point. So after today, we should have at least a decent idea of where the Fed's head's at with everything, where they think we're on track for, where they think we're missing, if soft landing is still possible, if they think they've got to do a lot more tightening and whatever the case. We're going to find that out today. They're not going to have another SEP report for, I think, probably about another 100 days. Right? So even though we're going to get CPI in between there, even though there's going to be more Fed rate hikes, all that stuff, ideally the SEP is going to be huge today. And you're going to probably hear a lot of people talking about SEP, and that's basically just a summary of economic projections. That's where the Fed gets together. They're putting out where they think the interest rate should be. That's kind of the dot plot as well. So you have the dot plot that comes out today too. That's essentially gives all it is just a visual. So it's giving you, let's say it says 4.8% here, right? And then there's 5% here. There's 4.6 here. And then they take a survey of the Fed individually, all the members. And the dot plot says, okay, one Fed member says 5%. And then you have 3 other Feds that vote that think that 4.8 is good. Then you got 2 down here that thinks is good. So this is how this chart's going to look. What you want to see on this chart when it comes out is everybody on the same page, right? If everyone's on the same page, that means that you're pretty much, they're feeling like they're moving in the right direction. They're moving in unison. So the dot plot's going to be huge. If you see sporadic, like you have a guy at 6%, right? So you have a dot there. Then you have a guy at 5. You have a couple people at 5.5, right? Then you got a whole bunch at 5. And then you got some 4.8s, and they're just kind of all over the place. To me, that would not be unison. And even though there's only one at 6%, eventually that voice could get a little bit louder in the room and start to eventually, as things move, that will cause a little concern for the market because we're not on the same page, right? We don't have as much clarity going forward. Joe says, what time? That's all coming out at 2. That's all coming out at 2. Fire says, how often does the stuff come out? It's every 3 months essentially. So they come out with, I believe it's once a quarter-ish. So the next one's not coming out till like from this time when it comes out to the next time, I think it's about 100 days. 296-second paragraph. So keep in mind, there's the rate hike is not going to be the only thing that's going to affect the market. The documents that come out at 2 that will get scanned right away, they're going to be a huge impact on the sentiment of the market going forward. That report, those reports that come out, should give us a decent direction. And then you have one more thing today. One more thing that comes out. Not really comes out. He's a human being. So we'll say somebody else speaks. And that is Jay Powell himself, JP, getting up to the plate. So now after everything's all said and done, we have an idea as far as we have the percent rate hike already out there. He's going to give his pre-written statement. And then we're going to have, obviously already, we're going to have the SEP out there. We're going to have the dot plot. We're going to be able to run through all of that. So all of that's going to be out there. We should have a good idea. But then you got Jerome Powell, and it's his last and final decision, because I don't think we could really move forward in a bullish direction unless we get JP's blessing. So question is, does he come out? His first statement's all pre-written. It's pretty much what is being released at 2 p.m. or whatever. So all of that will be kind of priced into the first few minutes of what he's talking about. It comes down to his questions, right? So listen carefully to his questions when he's talking live, because that's going to give you a lot. If he's coming out saying, let's not start to celebrate too early, let's not get ahead of ourselves, we're looking good, but we're not comfortable yet, all of that will start to weigh in on any of the, if SEP is good, if the dot plot's good, if people are liking everything, JP could come in and start crushing it. So with all of that today, yes, CPI yesterday was lighter than they expected. Also, CPI yesterday, with what they were expecting, was a difficult goal to achieve. So the fact that we came in lighter than that, and that's why the last one was a little bit more of a home run, because they didn't have to do much to hit those numbers. It was kind of a low benchmark. The one that they were expecting yesterday was a much higher benchmark, right? So the fact that they came in lighter on it, that's not bad. That's pretty good. We did get above all the VPOCs. We were looking pretty decent. I think we kind of matched into that last one and we sold off. But it makes sense that we're selling, because today is going to be, we're going pretty much from unknown of what we don't know what's out there. We don't know what the Fed's expecting. We don't know kind of where their minds set to the known. right? So if you're going to invest in anything, if you're thinking about putting money into swing trades, after today would be a good time to do it because we'll have general direction of the market. Does that make sense to everybody? That's what I'm watching for today for Jerome Powell. And again, we don't know what's coming at 2 p.m. I do not know what the volatility is going to be like today prior, because again, all we have to do is wait 5 hours from now, and we'll have a more clear marketplace, a little bit more clarity on what's actually happening. Well, quad witching, yeah, we also have, so then this is a crazy week. I mean, you guys are wondering why the VIX is up. Like, was it up 9% the other day? We have a few $1 trillion expiring on Friday as well. So you're going to have that come into play as well. But again, today will have a good possibility of being a pretty massive day. But before 2 p.m., maybe a little bit more on the trappy side, potentially a little bit more flat. Again, we've seen time and time again, once right before something big happens. And we did have a little bit of a rare occurrence in the market the other day too. When was that? I think that was Monday, where we had VIX up like 9%. We had VIX up like 9%, and then the market was rallying it. Yeah, that was Monday. Right. So we had the market just absolutely felt like it was on a tear. It stayed pretty steady for a while, but the VIX was going crazy and the market's going up. Usually when the VIX is up, market's down, right? Because there's just more fear. So people are selling, they're reacting quicker, all of that stuff. And the VIX is usually going through the roof on down days. It was a little bit rare to see that it was a bullish day, but the VIX was still skyrocketing. Right. But the VIX is just a really measure of volatility. And before some kind of a big event comes in, you're going to see the VIX rise. So we were pushing in a bullish direction, but we also had CPI coming in, and then we have today coming in, and now we have trillions of dollars expiring on Friday. So yeah, that will take effect. I don't know that that's going to be the key event today, though. I don't think people are going to be watching so much for moving things based on the fact that Friday is quad witching. They're going to react today off of anything that comes out with the SEP, anything with the dot plot, anything with the interest rates, anything with Jerome Powell. And then they're going to be able to still make positions to either hedge into that news. But that will be weighing into the back of some people's minds. But come into Friday, that's when you're going to see a lot more push around. Yep. So do we buy calls or puts? I don't know. Hector says both. On a technical basis, I will say I'm a little bit more bullish. Mm-hmm. I think right now, though, buying calls or puts, you're going to need a huge move in the market because premiums are jacked. I do expect after today, premiums, especially after probably Friday, but I would say after today too, you start to see premiums die down a little bit because you're paying more for both calls and puts right now because we're literally hours away from key events in the market. So on a technical basis, what did we do? Well, we had a bullish day yesterday. We gapped up. We sold. People took their profits. Makes a ton of sense to me, knowing that you have, I know for me, I cleared out some positions yesterday. Just knowing that, okay, there's a big event happening literally within 24 hours. Well, especially in this market, taking profits makes tons of sense. It came back down. It retested. So on a technical basis, even though this felt like a lot of selling yesterday and like, oh man, are we failing? Are we not respecting the CPI? No, I think we still are leaning in the bullish direction. I think this is still a very, very good report we had yesterday. I still think it was a very bullish day yesterday. Even though we dipped down, all we were really doing is honestly retesting into yesterday's candle. I think that trend can definitely continue. Obviously, if there's any surprises with with SEP, dot plot, Fed, the rate hike, any of that stuff, that could negate everything, and that could definitely change the course of where we're going. Otherwise, CPI has been good. PPI was good. If we get some good numbers today, we get a happy-go-lucky Jerome Powell, which he was here, right? If he wants to give the blessing, the market will have the fuel to start making a little bit of a bigger move. Question is, there's a lot of ifs there, and until we get through today, we don't really know. But my assumption would be, I think we do have a little bit of bullishness in the tank. That's where I'm standing. Again, by 2:15, and then especially by 4 p.m. today. Also today, 3:30 to 5, I'll be back in the afternoon room, and we're going to kind of go over what Jerome Powell said, how the dot plots were, how the SEP was, where my interpretation will come in of all of that, and where the market, I think, will run in the next 3 months. So if you guys are around for that, 3:30 to 5, I'll be there. No, it's got to be live, Hector. Got to be live. You got to cancel all. He's like, I was about to sell a $3 million mansion, and it canceled. All right, I'll try to record it. All right, so that's the SPY, just typical retest, and we did come in for that retest yesterday. We are still gapping slightly down by like a couple pennies, but still on top of that VPOC. Again, I don't know if I expect too much volatility, unfortunately, at the open. We will see, though, very shortly. Qs look slightly a little bit weaker, even though it's down, still only realistically a few cents. Right now, at least, you are actually below the VPOC. Again, same thing on Qs. We gapped up, we sold off. People more or less took profits. That was a pretty nasty gap up. And I know, unfortunately, there's probably some people out there, I hope not in real life trading, but they're like, they were holding puts and they're like, oh, they got me, and they sold. And then down here, they're like, now I'm freaking out, and they're buying. And it could have been a stressful day for sure. But right now, it was just Hector. Really it was just probably just Hector. No, I don't think it was Hector, but I do think there's definitely some people, because that sell-off, I mean, you wake up and this is up here and you're like, oh, I was wrong. And then you're like, okay, this is going to bounce. It's going to bounce. It's going to bounce. And then it doesn't. The markets don't make it easy. It don't make it easy. One of my SPY stops hit at open on the puts. Tesla to go lower. So Tesla is going to be a unique unicorn for sure. I don't see a reason why it would not go lower from this point. Let's even flip this thing to a weekly. I think we're in a major danger zone, though, on the Tesla. I have, at this point, there's not a lot of volume in these areas, and we're probably looking at the next stop being somewhere slightly lower, so maybe like 152.94-ish on just Tesla. Just Tesla. Yep. So this, to me, again, that's not a great close, and even with the gap up that we had, this is on the weekly. The weekly chart doesn't look very healthy. If it does not get saved by Friday, it's in some serious world of hurt if they're not already. I think they're only like 22 times earnings, 23 times earnings right now at this point. This is fairly the cheapest we've actually seen Tesla in a very, very long time comparatively to size of the company, to the strength of the company. But the biggest issue right now is not so much sales. It's not so much the cars. It's not so much supply chain. It's just Twitter. It's just Twitter. Basically, what Elon has said that he's going to do is pretty much subsidize losses from Twitter, and by using his Tesla shares. So that's not a positive look for Tesla. He also responded to somebody on, but this is why you gotta kind of like Elon a little bit. I mean, he used to be the richest man in the world. Now he's, I think, second. I think he slipped to some fashion guy or something like that. But I think he's sitting in the second place. But for the second richest guy in the world to just respond to random people on Twitter, somebody was asking about Twitter stock or something, or is the company still good? And he responded, he's like, which was kind of alarming a little bit, I guess, but he's like, think long term, don't use margin. So the think long term, good, I'm on board with. I like thinking long term. That's fine with me. But then, and I'm also on the same point, which I do agree. If you're thinking long term, don't use margin on anything. But then for like the CEO of the company to come out and be like, yeah, maybe not in the short term. Maybe not in that short term. But yeah, this still looks pretty weak. I would say that you should expect a little bit of a bullish bounce, I would think, at open. Maybe into yesterday's close, 160.73 or roughly 160.180. Those are the two spots that I'd be looking for. Maybe a quick little bounce retest and then look for some kind of continuation. I would assume that all boats would rise even if the Fed has good numbers and good reports and Jay Powell saying the right things. Tesla might be one of the few that don't really respond as well to it because, again, there's a much bigger catalyst on this right now. Yeah, LVMH is the richest guy. Whoever owns that. So I don't even know how to say his name. It's like it's not Armani, but it's like Armando or Armand, something like that. But yeah, I think they're worth, Tesla's now worth like 500 billion or something. Like that's a pretty big steep drop. And unfortunately, it looks like there's more pain to come for Tesla. Maybe we get some kind of bounces. Even this little shorter term move, this looks like some kind of inverted head and shoulders, something like that. But he's not even from America, so who knows? Yeah, I don't know where he's yeah, I don't know where he's from actually. For some reason I want to say London, but I think he's he's French. Is that what he is? He's French. No wonder I cannot pronounce his name. Oui. All right. Yeah, unless you're I don't know. I read words all in the same exact like accent, which is just my own. Even with like O's with like the lines over them and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna call it an O and move on. I guess that's as much cultured as I am with my language. We got AMD. I think was it, they call it Monogalti? I'm like, yeah, I need some of that Monocotti. Give me some Monocotti. They're like, no, we can't serve you here. I'm like, damn, got me again. All right, AMD. So again, same thing. I'd probably expect a little bit of a bullish bounce at open. This should be a retest, still inside the gap, so can't 10 EMA it out of the gate. Very same thing with Nvidia. That's still a nice little gap on Nvidia. We did get a close below 180. I've been watching that 180 level. I had some calls on this one. I was able to get out a calls, I think at 186 somewhere yesterday. So I would be interested in maybe buying it back. I don't know if I'm going to buy it back though. It's very high up there. I'd have to wait for a bigger dip on Nvidia. But right now, inside day, small little gap. Again, I would expect some kind of at least retest on that. Apple looks exactly like the SPY. So there was the retest. We did retest it. We got that close above the 10. So we're sitting still kind of really healthy, pretty much in no man's land though at this point. Again, still would expect we are below the yesterday's VPOC. So that's going to be a tough area to break. That should be the retest somewhere sitting at 145.37. Hey, Franco's with us on YouTube land. What's up, Franco? South Africa. Mom and dad are wait, that's that guy? He's from South Africa, but his mom and dad are Canadian. Oh, Elon Musk. I thought at least Elon's mom was from South Africa too. I didn't know his parents were Canadian. I knew he was from South Africa. But again, I call him Elon. So Elon Musk. So I don't know. Let's see. Nice little gap up on Delta. So maybe we get some continuation. We are still gapping now above the 10. If anything, honestly, Delta might be the play to run bullish. This is going to still be I mean, that's a big mass move yesterday. It's inside day. It's going to be a more of a challenge, but you do have a little bit of a room. You have some room up to like 35, 26. It gives you about 30, 40, 50, almost 60 cents to the upside potentially. I don't think we break out until the Fed comes. And then we got Amazon. I'll have to click that link a little later. Amazon, we got sitting at almost the close of yesterday, so not much move there. Again, decent gap out. Not enough to really break out of some of the longer term, just sideways action on Amazon. They're going to need a little extra boost too. Maybe the GOV and the FED could do it, but right now, not a lot happening with some of those. Natasha says he has the same birthday as Nikola Tesla and your middle daughter. Okay. Nice. So, I mean, who opens their gifts first? Probably not Nikola, because he's not physically able to do so anymore. But so it really comes down to Elon or your daughter, your middle daughter. All right. So Amazon. So out of the 6 that we trade every day, right now we got nothing. Let's just check out Roblox real quick. RBLX. My daughter told me this a few days ago. When's your daughter's birthday? I just want to make sure I get a card and stuff. I want Natasha coming after me, be like, you forgot my middle daughter's birthday. She was waiting for a new PlayStation. She got nothing. 28/6. Oh yeah, you're from Sweden. So that's June 28th. Got you. Okay. June 28th. So I missed the last one. I apologize. Tell her I'm deeply sorry, but I got you. I got her on the next one. Got her on the next one. This is probably a little pop retest again on Roblox. Nothing crazy. Let me just run down this list. I got 1 more minute left. See if anything else is looking crazy. But right now, everything seems to be inside day. Coinbase. No. PayPal. Nothing. Melly is a little bit more of a gap down below yesterday's candle. That should be a retest and look for a fade. Square, nothing. Wow. 60, 150, 58, nothing. Baba, nothing. Everything is just the same. So I'm thinking sitting on hands for the next few minutes, wait for some things to play out, and then we'll see if we can jump in. But I only got 4 seconds left. All my peeps on YouTube land, I do love you, but unfortunately, I have to disconnect. Not my rules. I don't make the rules. I just got to enforce them. But what I will ask on the way out, make sure you guys hit that little subscribe bell. Stay in touch with all of real life trading content. We are live every day from 9 to 9:30 a.m. on YouTube. Make sure you also hit that little thumbs up, the like button as well. I don't know if it does anything, but it makes me feel good, and that's what is really important to me. So make sure you guys hit that. Otherwise, be safe. And it's going to be a wild day. Don't feel rushed to make moves when you don't have to. Let the plays set up for you.